And then there were 12. Good afternoon from Kansas, and welcome here to the Hollywood Casino 400 presented by ESPN Bet. Race number 30, playoff race number 4, first race of the round of 12 for the 2025 WRA Oreo Cup Series. 3 weeks ago, 16 drivers embarked the journey to battle for the championship. Last week, we had our first elimination race at Indianapolis, and we'll tell you who are the drivers that got eliminated from the playoffs, as 12 drivers ended up moving on. Ian Dutta not battling for the championship, unfortunately, on the pole position. 27th in points, still looking for his first win on the season, alongside of a driver who just recently got eliminated from the playoffs. That would be Quentin Moore. Skylar Taylor in row number 2. Skylar Taylor did make it in the round of 12, along with Eric Stanbury, who is 8th in the standings. The 12 drivers battling for the championship are Kyler Anderson, C Bracken, or baby C Bracken, Josh Harmon, Daniel Wooder, Reggie Fogleman, Skylar Taylor, Marinelli Dillion, Eric Stanbury, K Wascher, Sean Art, Bradley Ream, and Annie Crenshaw. The 12 drivers battling for the championship, which they are tied at 3,000 points apiece. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, you saw the drivers that raced their way into today's race via the Go or Go Home session as the cars are rolling off behind the pace car. Getting ready for 27 laps of racing here today at Kansas. Last week at Indianapolis was our first elimination race. And joining Quentin Moore in making an early exit were Cody Smart, rookie N Fryman, and rookie S Ozkan. Those 4 were the first 4 drivers eliminated from the championship. And for Fryman and Ozkan, they are now out of the running for not just the championship, but also for the Rookie of the Year honors. So that means both front row motorsports cars, a Penske car, and an RFK car, the only RFK car that made the playoffs, all made an early exit. And believe it or not, all 4 of them were Fords, so that's crazy. Green flags in the air. We're racing here at Kansas. Nobody had any issues. Nobody had any issues on the grid or coming to the green, so everybody took the start, so no restart, which is good for me.
When we talked with Sam Darnold about this game tonight, he said, I want to be very, very decisive.
And with the 12 drivers still in the hunt for the championship, the goal is the same. You go to victory lane here tonight, doesn't matter what happens the next 2 weeks at next week's road course race at Lime Rock, or the second elimination race at Coca-Cola, they're into the Elite 8, regardless what happens the next 2 races. As Ian Dutta, currently your race leader. Amy Pruitt, who raced her way into today's race via the Go or Go Home session, currently in second. Amy Pruitt was announced today. In 2027, she'll be running for season 2. She'll be in the Craftsman Truck Series next season. And of course, Trucks, Busch, and Cup, they'll be racing while we are still working on the All-American Series, which I think we are also getting closer to finishing up or start their 2026 season. And of course, Craftsman Trucks, Busch, and Cup will be on Wednesday through Friday with the Wednesday, Thursday, and the Cup will be on Saturday. So there you go. There's Olympia Brightly. Eric Stanbury, who is running in the 4th position. He is the highest of the playoff drivers. There's Quentin Moore, who was recently eliminated. Annie Thomas raced her way in via the Go or Go Home session. There's Skylar Taylor. Sadler, Shyla Ashcroft, who's still looking for her first win of the season. Carolina Bradley raced her way in. Senor Sean just barely made the round of 12. Check the back of the field here. Josh Harmon back here at the rear of the field. I'm not on the correct points. Hold on. Josh Harmon barely made the next round of the playoffs. N Fryman, who just recently got eliminated from the playoffs, back here at the rear of the field. Zachary Fitzwater not having a good run back here. Got a couple of playoff drivers at the rear of the field. Daniel Witter, if she would have had the 3 bonus points, she would be the points leader, because remember, she won her way into this round. Annie Crenshaw's back here at the rear of the field. There's Reggie Fogleman. He just made the next round of the playoffs. Salman Ozkan, who just recently got eliminated from the playoffs last week. Chris Washer in the 5. There's Annika Ritchie. Bradley Ream. Kyler Anderson made the next round of the playoffs. Marinelli DeLeon, Baby CJ, the 2 Spire cars made it into the round of 12. There's last week's winner, Alina Ritchie, right behind Cody Smart, who just recently got eliminated from the playoffs. And back to Ian Dutta in the 21 machine. Comes into this race, as I said, 27th in the points. 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Prior to today's race, he only has led 9 laps so far, but he has yet to find victory lane this season.
Kobe Durant's got a sack and a pick in this game, guilty of a hold for first down. Yeah, this was a good call. This was away from where Sam was throwing the football. Got Jefferson trying to come off.
How about Quentin Moore? Good run for him. A driver who just, like I said, recently got eliminated from the playoffs in round number 1. So we talked about this round. Kansas were racing today. Of course, this is happening the day after my birthday, which I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes for my 31st birthday, which I still can't believe I'm 31 as I'm recording this. We have next week's race at Lime Rock Park. And then our second elimination race at Coca-Cola, which is a wild card. Which could mean nobody is safe as far as the moving on to the Elite 8. And after Coca-Cola, we'll have another 4 drivers getting eliminated from the playoffs to determine our Elite 8. Right now, Eric Stanbury would take the points lead heading into next week at Lime Rock Park.
A lot of good catches on that drive to get down there and score.
Oops. Hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that. Don't know why I did that. My apologies. Right now, looking at where everybody's running, right now, the 4 drivers who will be going into next week's race into danger zone would be Harmon, Fogleman, Crenshaw, and Daniel Whittle, who was the points leader coming into this race, even though the points down there in the description did not give Annie Crenshaw a 3-point cushion. So, yeah. There's Eric Stanbury in the second position, just got around Amy Pruitt. Already past the halfway point of today's race. If Eric Stanbury goes to victory lane here today, not only would this be his second win on the season, but this would put him into the Elite Eight regardless the next two races. Those races being Lime Rock and Coca-Cola. As we're coming up to 10 laps of racing to go here at Kansas. As Eric Stanbury is all over the back of the Motorcraft Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And now Eric Stanbury goes to the lead. There's our first lead change of the day. WRA Racing trying to go to victory lane for the third time this season, but this would put them in the Elite Eight. How big would it be if WRA Racing goes to victory lane and punch their ticket in the Elite Eight? Somebody is smoking. Who is that that's smoking? That's a playoff contender in Marinelli Dillon. As the engine has let go on the Focus Health Chevy Camaro. And she is out of this race. And she'll be one of the 4 drivers in the danger zone going into next week's race. So Josh Harmon caught a lucky break, a header issue. That's a tough break for Marinelli Dillon. Now she's going to be in recovery mode in terms of next week, where she needs a good run at Lime Rock Park or could find herself heading into Coca-Cola in a must-win situation. You have 12 drivers going for a championship still. You have another 30 drivers who are trying to find victory lane. And of course, Ian Dutta, who's leaving this ride, the 21 that he's in, at the end of the season. Hasn't been a good season for Ian Dutta in the 21. Almost like what Harrison Burton did in real life last year in 2024 in the Cup Series in real life. So Ian Dutta just trying to find victory lane for the first time this season because he's not in the playoffs, whereas Eric Stanbury, if he wins today, regardless what happens the next 2 weeks, he goes into those next 2 races worry-free. Remember, Daniel Whittle won the race at Mexico City, the last road course in the round of 16. Got that win, punched her ticket into the round of 12. Had a okay run, but definitely would afford a poor finish because it didn't matter where she finished at Indy last week. She was already in the round of 12, so she went into that race worried-free. And if Eric Stanbury wins, if he has a poor finish next week, he better be thankful if he possibly wins this race, he'll be thankful he can have a poor finish the next 2 weeks because he'll be still in the round of in the Elite Eight as we're down to 3 laps to go here at Kansas. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any other descriptions or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV wants to thank you fans for your support of the World Racing Association. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Down to 2 to go here at Kansas. They have a nice gap on third place. They have a 2-second lead on third place, Amy Pruitt. Right now, Harmon, Fogleman, Witter, and Dillon would be the 4 drivers in the danger zone as the white flag is out. 1 more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Does Ian Dutta have anything for the N29 Ford Mustang Dark Horse? Dutta has led the most laps today. I don't know if he's going to have anything for Eric Stanbury off of turn 4. Eric Stanbury will punch his ticket to the Elite 8. He wins the Hollywood Casino 400 presented by ESPN Bet. And Eric Stanbury, regardless what happens at Lime Rock Park in Coca-Cola, he is in the Elite 8.
As we see over and over again in the NFL here lately, these undershirts that hang down below the jersey.
Ian Dutta will have to get settled for second as he led the most laps in this race today. Great run for Amy Pruitt in third. Great run for Quinton Moore, 1 week removed after getting eliminated from the playoffs. He'll finish in fourth. Olympia Brightly will come away with fifth. Ian Griffith, sixth. Shyla Ascroft in seventh. William Davis, eighth. Alina Ritchie, ninth. 1 week removed from her first win of the year, and Dylan Ibrahimian completes the top 10. So only 1 playoff driver finished inside the top 10, being Eric Stanbury. Of course, he won the race. Where did the other 11 finish? Good run for Eric Sadler after a struggling season he's had. Sean Art came home in 12th. Should pull up my phone here so I know who's still in the playoffs as far as I'm concerned. Sean came home in 12th. 19th, got eliminated. Skylar Taylor, 21st. C Bracken, 24th. Bad run for baby CJ. Chris Washer, 26th. Kyler Anderson, 27th. Looking down through the rest of the finishing results, this is where I start getting a little worried about some of these playoff drivers back here. Andy Crenshaw, 33rd. Josh Harmon, 34th. Bradley Ream, 39th. Not entirely sure what happened to him. Reggie Fogleman, Daniel Witter, and then, of course, Marinelli Dillon, the only playoff driver who did not reach the conclusion of the race due to a mechanical failure, ended up out of the race. So that is a tough break. So looking at who would be in the danger zone, it would be Bradley Ream, Reggie Fogleman, Daniel Witter, and Marinelli Dillon. So those 4 drivers will need a good run at Lime Rock Park or face a must-win situation at Coca-Cola the following week. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's race from here at Kansas. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your points and playoff standings are down in the description heading into next week's race at Lime Rock. Keep an eye on the cut line where 8th place is. That way you know who would be needing a good run and who would be moving on and all that. So we'll see you guys then. Until then, I've been D Whittle signing off as you've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013. Goodbye from Kansas.